Okay. Hang on, this got twisted.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee and Bible Time. This is
Mentor Mama.
And you know what? If this is your guys' first time listening to our podcast, welcome. We're normally on a YouTube channel, but we're really making a big endeavor this year into the podcast world. So thank you to all of you for listening. But today's podcast, very, very good, very juicy. It's going to be called "The Struggle is Real: Running a Business with Your Sister." And yes, my mom does look like she could be my sister, but she's not. Ashley's currently in college right now, but we are going to be talking about the struggles of running a business with your sister, specifically Coffee and Bible Time. Sisters are the only people that can simultaneously be your best friend and your worst critic. It's, being a sister can be a double-edged sword. You kind of just hope you get a good one when they come out the womb, right, Mom?
Yeah. I never had one, so I personally can't relate other than I have a lot of sisters in Christ, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so great for us. We have Mentor Mama here today, and Mentor Mama is going to be giving us a different insight than just one of the sisters, because she has been watching us, spectating us the whole 5 years of our business. So just a little brief background. Ashley and I started Coffee and Bible Time probably when I was in 8th grade, and I am a sophomore in college now. And so it started off as a rinky-dink YouTube channel where we were trying to film in her room with a probably $30 camera from Best Buy.
Okay, Tay, we are still filming in her room.
Okay, that's true. We're still filming in her room, but the equipment was very poorly. Please do not go back and watch our old videos. I beg of you, do not. But normally, yes. Normally, we were just filming in a room, regular old girls doing makeup videos, and then we decided, you know what, we're going to hone in on things that actually matter to us, our faith. So now we're here more than 5 years later, and we have all of you guys, so thank you so much.
I do find it interesting we're doing this when Ashley's gone.
Yeah, Ashley can't necessarily speak for herself, but don't worry, Ashley, I did write an entire segment in this podcast where I talk about all the things I love about you, so do not be getting worried right now. Ashley, I promise I'm taking care of you.
She's an awesome sister, actually.
Yes, and you know what, guys? I created an analogy, okay? I created an analogy for what it's like having a business with your sister, especially a ministry, okay? And that is an onion. And I am taking it from Shrek. I'm taking it right from Shrek, because sisters are like onions. Let me read you my poem. It's not really a poem. But because you grow up together, sisters, you have so many layers of emotional bonds, painful experiences, good and bad times. And then when you start a business, you're adding another layer to your onion. And you know what? It's not as easy as it sounds, just adding another layer, okay? It really, depending on the condition of your relationship with your sister, it could be a completely rotten onion on the inside. I'm just gonna say, sometimes onions don't smell the greatest anyway. Sometimes onions make you cry. So, with our relationship growing up, specifically Ashley and I, we did fight a decent amount, and that's because we were both really hard-headed. I was the more emotional sister. I was very sensitive. Can you comment on that?
Oh boy, I can. That's true. You take everything to heart.
I do. Yeah. That is one of my things. I do take everything to heart. But you know what? Throughout the years, we've learned, especially with the help of my mom, to grow up in maturity, and now we're very tight-knit. We have a close bond together. But with that being said, sisterhood is still an onion, okay? Sisterhood is still an onion, and there are things that make us stumble even in our endeavor right now, even 5 years later after having this.
Yeah, let's just say every day's an adventure.
Yeah, every day's an adventure. And so here's what I'm about to say. I'm going to list off for you, Mentor Mama, some pitfalls that I'd say that we had, Ashley and I had, starting a podcast, but starting a YouTube channel together. And I want you to tell me what you think our hardest one was to overcome or is still hard to deal with. And then I'm gonna tell you what mine is. I have a feeling we're gonna have the same answer. But okay, let me read them off to you. Okay, first one, absence of communication. So we're bad at communicating. Number 2, we have a lot of criticism towards each other. 3, we have an inability to accept each other's differences. And number 4, we hold on to resentment. Number 5, we are oftentimes defensive and overriding. So what is yours? What do you think is our hardest?
I definitely think the hardest one is your inability to accept individual differences. And really, it was the understanding the Enneagram numbers and sort of your motivations behind what each of you do that helped me so much. And then I could start to see the difference between how you handle certain situations and how Ashley handles certain situations.
And you know what? That was my answer too. Because especially at the beginning of us starting a YouTube channel, we just had very different ideas about, like, you know, what videos we wanted to film. And Ashley just has a very driven personality, whereas I have a less driven personality. I would say I'm more relaxed, laid back. I kind of get bursts of energy and bursts of wanting to do work, whereas she's very consistent, and you know, she'll have a checklist. I think she used to have like a calendar agenda that was like the size of her desk. And she would just literally work on top of that agenda every day, whereas like I'm just like, maybe one day out of the week will be like, oh, I have a great video idea, and then maybe I would never even get to filming it because, and also, you know, there is an element of comparing yourself to the other sibling, which we'll get to that. But do you have any feedback on that? I would say definitely yes, the Enneagram has helped us. If you didn't watch our last video, Ashley is a 1, and I am a 9, so I would say kind of polar opposites, although I am a 9 with a 1 wing. Fun fact.
Well, I think what I have observed is that when you and Ashley aren't getting along the best, you actually both have the best of intentions. It's just almost like one's going this direction and one's going this direction, and you're not seeing eye to eye. So for example, Ashley's number a 1 and I'm a 3. I find the way she works to be like extremely motivating.
Yeah.
Like, just
encouraging.
Give me more, let's do it. In fact, there's a plaque over there on her desk that says boss lady.
She's a boss lady.
So, and she's so good at, but my personality responds very positively to that.
Yeah.
Whereas Taylor, your number, you actually take offense to that.
I know.
We're like, what do you mean I have this, and this to do?
Yeah.
And what do you mean I have to do all this today? And then you're like, oh, I'm a failure because I'm not getting all these things done today.
I think that I get really bogged down with like a to-do list. I think that it doesn't like, whereas a to-do list for you is like, oh great, I know exactly what I'm doing today and I can get it all done in this manner, and then you get it done. Whereas a to-do list for me is like, okay, here's all the things I won't be doing today, because it's just really overwhelming. And also on top of that, because I am a sensitive person, I think my sister comes in with like so much advice, which I'm just gonna say that I've witnessed her giving advice to her friends, and like she was a leader and people love that. Like, she gives great advice, but it also could be just the fact that I'm her sister that I'm more like, no, I don't want advice. I want to do my own way, or I take it personally. I don't know. I maybe like used to use that as an opportunity for me to get upset. But
and just your way of, you get the job done, but in the way that you're geared towards doing it.
Thank you.
And you do a beautiful, awesome job. And you're smart and funny. And Ashley gets hers done, though, doing it her way. And I think what happens is where we get the most conflict is her expecting you to do it her way.
Yes.
And you...
Yeah. Expecting her to understand me, like my way.
To understand you and expect you to do it your way.
Right.
So.
I guess I'm like always like, Ashley's such a hard worker, and I'm like, come on, like, Ashley, like, you need to take a break. You need to let yourself rest. And she's like, no, I can't rest. And even when she came back for this winter break, she was like, it was the first day back, and she's like, I love relaxing, but I just can't do it. And so then, like, you know, I'm walking upstairs, and I walk into her room, and there she is, like, writing all the things down that she needs to do on like the first day back. I'm like, Ashley, I will rip that notebook out of your hand right now if you don't put that down. But
we did make her watch a lot of Hallmark Christmas shows with us.
Yes.
So.
Hallmark, very wholesome, loved it. Great things. Also, I will say, you know, our inability to accept each other's individual differences has helped a lot because of the Enneagram. And you know, we don't use it as a Bible. I would say something specifically also that's helped us is trying to talk about the things that we're in conflict with. Like, we have different ideas of doing it, and normally, like, both of us would feel comfortable with just leaving the room, like both of us leaving the room and then sitting and letting the feelings fester. Whereas I feel like lately we've been trying to like just what is it called? Hit the nail right on the head?
Yes.
Hit the nail right on the head. Or bite the bullet? I don't know. There's too many idioms. But yeah, we just like try to do it right away. We're like, okay, how are you feeling? How am I feeling? And how can we try to understand where each other is coming? And you know what? I would say that I do a semi-poor job of that. Because here's the problem also is when I get in conflicts, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, sometimes it just feels like you're right in the heat of the moment, like you're right, and then when the other person's talking, you're thinking about the next thing you're gonna say. Ashley, I'm really sorry I do that to you, and I know you know it. And also something sad, Ashley like is not a crier, and so when we're in an argument and she's crying, I feel so bad. I'm like, oh, I really blew it this time.
Well.
And then you know what, when she cries, and I'm like, okay, Taylor, you really need to like take your pride away and just try to humble yourself so you can try to understand her. And you know what? I'm going to say it right now. And I keep referencing Ashley because she's not here. And Ashley, I know you're going to be listening to this when you're in the city. Yes. 90% of the time when we end up getting out of an argument, I do realize that you were right. And and you know what? There are times though that we get in arguments. She thinks I'm right. Okay. Right, Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never really know. Also, the second thing that I feel like is a pitfall is just being defensive in general. And that's a mainly me thing. It could be also Ashley. No, it's really mainly a me thing. I wrote the list down thinking probably more about what I do, but I do get defensive when people try to give me criticism because I take things to heart, which actually the Bible tells us that when people are rebuking you, you should take it as a positive thing and as a way that you can learn to grow. And I've been trying. I think maybe I've been in a little bit of a lull lately, but normally I do try. I think it's important, especially, you know, if you're taking, I think I'm better at taking rebukes from you because you're my mother. But then when Ashley comes and like tries to give me corrections, I'm like,
well,
do
she
you think
also
I'm my mother?
tries to be your mother a lot.
Yes.
She is your second mother. Let's face it.
She might be my first mother. No, she's not. But yeah, the minute I was born out of the womb, Ashley did take me under her wing. We have pictures.
Oh yeah.
We have pictures.
Yeah, I got home from the hospital and Dad pulled the car right up and literally like she came running out to the car and climbed right in the back seat. She was so excited.
I know, and I love Ashley. And here's the thing. This is when
You were her real bitty baby.
I was her real bitty baby. And this is when I wrote down things because here's the thing. Ashley's not here to give her piece. And so I wanted to write down, you know, a list of things that I really appreciate about her. And she is a words of affirmations person. I'm more of a touch person, so I feel like words of affirmation. Do I need words of affirmation though? I think I might be.
I don't think so. Yours is quality time. Quality time.
Quality time with.
And actually, that's one of the things that frustrates you about Ashley is she does have.
Yes, quality time is not hers.
Right. And she's so busy doing things
Yeah.
that sometimes she doesn't give you the quality time that you'd like.
Right.
And touch isn't her love language, so she's not going to smother you in hugs.
Yeah, no, we have none of the same love languages. Also love that. You know what? When you have siblings, you never know what you're going to get when they come out of that womb. And turns out they're probably going to be very different from you because that's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's life. So here are the things that I love about Ashley. Great qualities. Love her to death. She is very kingdom-minded. She is dedicated to studying the Word of God in depth every day. We're not talking, just reading one chapter and leaving the room and forgetting everything. It's like, no, she takes that Bible out and she's studying that puppy till she
picks each verse apart.
Verse apart. She always wants the best for our business, for Coffee and Bible Time. She wants the best for our viewers and for others, which drives her to work harder than 99% of the population. She is such a driven hard worker. She works in the Lord. She isn't scared of taking risks, and she trusts and relies very, very heavily on the Lord to get through every single endeavor that Coffee and Bible Time goes through. She prays through it all, and she is very in tune with the Spirit. Mm-hmm. You guys, can you see that I have an amazing co-sister?
But you're equally as amazing in your own special ways.
Thank you. I'm special.
You're phenomenal, Tay.
Thanks.
And so I don't think it's right to compare yourself to her because you're both individual. You're two unique people that are both wonderful in your own ways.
Yeah, and you know what? You need a mom to tell you things like that. Mm-hmm. Because that's another one of my pitfalls. And I have trouble comparing myself to her just because. And you know what? Can I just give a little percentage here? I was looking this up because I was curious. I think my sister's a big anomaly, I think, from all the people that I met in my life because she's just so exceptional in that way that she's so driven. I think it said that Enneagram 1s are somewhere around 1% of the population. And I do compare myself to her because, when you're working with someone in a business, it can be easy to fall into that trap of comparing yourself to them. But then when your business is a ministry and on top of that, they're your sibling and you have many layers of onion, it can be especially easy to start to compare yourself wow, I'm really lazy compared to her, or I don't read my Bible in the same way that she does, or I'm really not that gifted in teaching the way that she is. But really, you just can't do that because you're different.
Right. And I think about all the special qualities you have, you're an amazing photographer, and everything that you see on our channel, our webpage, is all because of your beautiful photography. And you're a wonderful piano player, and you make me laugh every day.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Which is an awesome quality in and of itself. Mm-hmm. So don't play the comparison game.
No, it's bad. And you know what? I was actually reading something by Tozer the other day. It's he was talking about how, comparing yourself to other people is such a big trap because it's just futile. The more you compare yourself to others.
Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat.
Oh, my mom has a tickle. I'll just. It's futile comparing yourself to other people because nobody's perfect and everybody has fallen short of the glory of God. So when you're comparing yourself to other people, it's really, you need to be comparing yourself to Jesus. And then when you compare yourself to Jesus, it drives you to your knees because you realize, I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, and I just need to live in grace. I need to live in grace, not live it under the shadow or try to be like anybody else. It just doesn't work like that. But, with that being said, I wanted to kind of wrap this up a little bit on a positive note because there are things that have changed our business. Because if we would have kept living in, if we were kept living in the absence of communications, if we were really critical of each other, if we never tried to understand each other's differences, then our business wouldn't have lasted a year rather than 5+ years. We would have been, coffee and Bible time would have been non-existent. And so I wanted to ask you, and then I'll say kind of some things that I were thinking of, just what has really changed and helped our relationship so that we could create somewhat of a thriving business industry.
I think, I guess for all the moms out there, what really helped me be a better mother, because there was no instruction manual when you guys came out that said what to do. But in our moms group one year, we did a book, and we'll put the links below, but it's called Finding Your Purpose as a Mom, How to Build Your Home on Holy Ground. And I did this a number of years ago, and it resonated with me ever since. And really one of the key things that I pulled out of that is one of our most important, or one of a list of important things to do as a mother, is to help maintain peace in the home. And that includes peace between your children. And what you don't want to happen is for these things to keep building up and building up and building up. And then there's just an explosion, or people don't get along anymore. And a key verse that I'll point out to you is from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. And it says, "And don't sin by letting anger control you. Don't let the sun go down while you are still angry." And that's something that I've really always tried to encourage, is for us to make up
Yes.
as soon as possible.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah, let's talk it out. Let's let both sides vent.
Yeah.
Let's talk it out. And actually, maybe even a step before that is, if you need a cooling off period before you're going to say something that you regret, I think it's best to do that too.
Yeah.
So starting out with that. But then allowing the siblings to each communicate their feelings, talk about why one feels one way, one feels the other. And once you've been able to work that through, it could take a while for things to shake off. But I think that, one of the things that I've always tried to have you guys do is to say, okay, let's just start our day over.
Yes.
From the time you guys were very little and getting into little spats, I would say, let's just start our day over, and I would make them give each other a hug.
It totally works. The start your day over, I didn't even think of that, but we do that still today.
Yes.
We do that still today.
Yeah.
And one of us is like, do you want to start our day over? Really defeated, and the other person's like, yeah, because we're both feeling really bad. And when you live with your sister, sometimes when Ashley's home for break, it just stinks when you're both in a bad mood all day because you got in a fight, and you're like, let's forget about it. We've had time to cool off, but we want to start our day over. Yeah.
And I would just say too, from a mother's perspective, is just to be praying about that in your home, cultivating peaceful relationships, allowing grace to overflow over everything, and try to teach your children to follow that as well. So
that was really good. Mine's not as good as that. Mine is, well, you know what? Here's the thing. Yes. Oh. Little microphone problem. The thing for me, I think that I thought of immediately when I thought of things that have really helped our business and relationship is, before we make a video, we always pray together. And there was a time in our YouTube channel, or even a rough patch, I think, in our relationship when we really didn't understand each other's differences, was we would get into an argument and then we would try to just film a video, and I would be in a bad mood. And you can go back to some of the videos. Literally, I was so stone-faced the whole time, or Ashley would be here's the thing, Ashley could get into an argument and then she could film a video and be fine, whereas I just internalize it, and I can't not make a face or something, so I would be upset the whole video, or blah 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 whatnot. But we, this was Ashley's idea, was to just pray for the enemy to leave every time we wanted to do something, and just pray that God would be with us and that he would speak through us and be able to really be the voice of our YouTube channel, because otherwise I think our emotions and our pride would get the best of us. It would.
I agree.
Yeah. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video with Mentor Mama. She has totally been spectating us for the past 5 years. And you know what? You're the real MVP because you never gave up on us.
Oh, stop.
No, seriously. I mean, well, as a mother, you can't necessarily give up on us. But just like, she saw all of our like
Good, bad,
fights.
ugly.
Yeah, she saw all of our fights and all of our pride and all of our craziness, and still had hope and faith that God could use us on our YouTube channel. God bless you.
You know what, Tay? I was just thinking I probably should have had like a referee shirt and a whistle.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Maybe that would have helped too.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of
Gosh,
whistling.
I like that whistle idea. I still might do that.
No, you cannot do that because Ashley already has a whip, an invisible whip, but a whip
boy.
nonetheless. Okay, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you
Thank
in
you,
our
guys.
Yeah, thank you, and we'll see you in our next podcast and our next YouTube video. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was so much fun. I loved it.